might want to just take something from your screenplay here and just say, give him his full name, Dylan blah blah, young blah, white, student blah blah, sits on a park bench. Just a bit more detail here because this is just so stark. I just like a bit more colour, a bit more like the beginning of a story. Mainly because, sort of look at this and I just think, oh, well, I'm going to get the bare minimum here. And I want you to be a bit more generous with your description, if you like. Again, can we say sounds of the park, some bird song, voices and traffic in the background?
Okay.
Yeah. Should be still in a distressed manner. Again, just a bit more. You wouldn't, if you were writing a story, you wouldn't. It's like notes. Again, it might just be for this first one, but it would like a bit more. So something seems to be on his mind. He sits very still. The audience should be asking themselves, "What's the matter?" Something like that. Instead of still here, you say stationary. That's fine. Here I would say profile shot because you've jumped from a head-on shot to a profile coming from this side. And here you can just put as before. Unbuckle of the short pocket sounds like. Would you say that to someone? I can hear the unbuckle of your short pocket.
Yeah, you can hear it.
No, I understand that, but would you say that to someone?
No. Or just.
So you could say Foley. Why don't you put Foley here? Is it buckled or a button or what?
It's like a button.
Yeah. So unbuttoning his pocket and bringing out his phone. Unbuttoning his side pocket and bringing out his phone, something like that. We don't really see what his take the phone out. He takes the phone out with some urgency, which matches his distressed manner or something. Tilt. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Camera to tilt up. Yeah, pan is sideways, tilt is upwards. And then you should put an arrow to indicate the tilt, like you did on the other one. So rather than saying non-diegetic, I would say soundtrack. Or maybe not. I don't care. It's fine. But I would put music in there. I don't think you need to say build to a crescendo here because it's just starting here, isn't it? You're not going to have a crescendo with him going.
Yeah, true.
It starts. So just say starts. Just starts. Remain neutral. Should be framed. should be framed in a medium shot. I don't think you need to say the rule of thirds, but okay, it should be framed. To frame in the rule of thirds in a medium shot. You don't need the camera should be shooting. It appears, what does it do? Fade in, pop up?
It's like it doesn't fade straight into it. Sudden.
Right, so that's okay, appears fine. Instrumental music builds. I just think it's just too sudden from one shot to another to go to a crescendo, because what it means is effectively we see him holding his phone, and then the next shot is like too quick. Okay, so it builds. Dylan's facial extension. You can just put as before here. As he sees the harsh reality of what?
That his friends excluded him.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, why don't you say that? Okay. So I think, are you saying here that then this begins to fill the frame? So you've got it to one side and then it starts to come across.
Well,
how do you get from that shot to the one before?
I just had it before, just going from one to the other, but I could, because it's a story, but I could say I could say that, but they wouldn't know.
Well, it's going to look quite unnatural if you just cut from it on one side to it on the other side.
So it just builds.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I would say then you can say it reaches a crescendo, because as that fills the frame, then it's like, oh yeah, I really have been left out here. And you might want to say this fills the frame entirely. I mean, you could almost put another one in there. See, what I'm imagining is that it starts on the side, it starts to come, fills the whole screen, continues filling the whole screen, and then gradually fades to leave him thinking like that.
Yeah.
Can you hear what I'm describing?
Yeah.
So transition, I mean, I could show you in your project. So it goes
from there to there to there to there for the whole
out, and as it gets bigger and bigger,
it
fades and we see him behind it.
Okay.
Can you see how that makes sense? Because it's like, there's what's happened in his mind and this is how he is. So you need to describe that, how it fades out. You could even have that with an overlay of the black and white, just like the fading through on, where Nicolina and who's this?
Let's see.
It's your friend.
Georgia.
You, Nicolina and Georgia, and sort of fade through them. So here, don't say Dylan, say the actor should portray, not Dylan. Yeah. So this is kind of a match cut, isn't it? And I would describe that, because if you think about what's the reason for doing, something like that. If we look at what am I looking for? Let me just see if I can find this. Oh,